We have done question number. Children, we have done 5.
Ma'am.
Come to exercise 6. Answer the following questions in detail. Differentiate between a plan and a sketch. Right, page 143, 144. Now, can you see sketch heading written there? Now, mark. Sometimes we need a rough drawing of a place to find out its location, which is mainly based on memory and spot observation and not to scale. Such a rough drawing of a place is known as a sketch. Now you draw a line in the center, one side you write sketch, the other side you write plan, and for sketch you write this. Clear till here? Now coming on to plan. Come to the last 3 lines. Can you see written there? Yes, ma'am. After that, right? A plan is the drawing of a small area on a large scale. It shows the details of a small area. Marked? Huh? Leave the so. From a plan is the drawing. Okay. Next, what are the different types of maps? Right, page 139, 140. Now, right there, start writing. Can you see according to scale there? Yes, now, mark. According to scale, maps are of 2 types. That is small scale maps and large scale maps. Now, put a tick mark on small scale maps and then write. When large areas like continents or countries with less details are to be shown on paper, then it is known as small scale maps. Only till here. Then come on to the heading large scale maps. When a large area like a village, when a small area like a village or town is to be shown in detail on paper, then we use a large scale map. Till here. Got it? Then come to the next page, 140, and give a heading according to function. Okay, then write according to function, maps are of the following types. Number 1, physical maps. Then write maps showing natural features of the earth like mountains, plateaus, plains, rivers, oceans, etc. are called physical or relief maps. Number 2, political maps. These maps show the boundaries of the countries and of the states within the countries. They also show the location of cities and towns. The third, thematic maps. We can show some specific information with the help of thematic maps. For example, road maps, rainfall maps, etc. Only till here. This is your answer 6.2. Marked. Come to answer 6.3. What are the advantages of using symbols on map? Right, page 142, 143. Come to page 142. Maps are used to show a variety of information such as population, physical features, natural vegetation, roads, etc. Only after roads you write etc. here and just stop. Okay, come to the next page. Leave 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. Can you see so written there? Mark from here. So, to overcome the problem of less space, we use different signs and symbols to make a map more informative. These signs and symbols keep the map clean and thus make it easy to read. Only till here. This is your answer. 5, what? Sorry, 6, 6, 3. Got it? Now come to question number 6. 4. Give a brief description of the components of a map. Come to page, write page 141. I will tell you more pages, but first write page 141 because there are 3 components. Now, there are 3 main, can you see components of maps? Mark there. This is your answer 6.4. Mark, there are 3 main components of maps: distance, direction, and conventional signs and symbols. Now, number 1, distance. Right there, number 1, distance. Maps, come to the center of the first paragraph. Maps are drawings which reduce the entire world or a part of it on a sheet of paper. Or we can say maps are drawn to reduced scales. But this reduction is done very carefully so that the distance between the different places remains accurate. Therefore, a scale is chosen for this purpose. Clear? Only till here for distance. Now, come to directions, and in the question also write page 142 and come to the heading 142. Come to directions. Right here, answer 6.4, part of the second point. Directions. When we study a map, we notice an arrow marked with the letter N at the upper right-hand corner. This arrow shows the north direction. It is called the north line. The directions on the map or on the ground are always shown with respect to the north. That's it. Come to the third, conventional signs and symbols. Write the heading conventional signs and symbols, then write. Come to write page 143 here. And you will write 1, 2, 3, the one you've done for earlier also. To overcome the problem less space, we use different signs and symbols to make the map more informing. That's it. Clear? This is also an answer for question number 5.2. This is also a part of the answer of 6.3, and now this is also a part of the answer of 6.4. Did you get it? Am I clear, children? Online children? Okay. Next, differentiate between large scale maps and small scale maps. This is again this.
Pranjal Maurya is not switching off his mic.
Open the page.
Excuse me, ma'am.
The layout maps also of villages and the guide maps of cities are large scale maps. For example, this is till the end. Clear? Whatever is given in both the headings, you will write as clear. So you write page 133, comma 1.
Ma'am. Ma'am, someone Pranjal Maurya is not switching off his mic and I can't hear you.
Okay. Pranjal Maurya, if you do it next time, you are there in my screen now. I will show you all. Now the one who opens the mic is going out. It's as simple as that. Next, define a globe. Also discuss its limitations. For globe defining, come to page, just a second. It's on the first page, है ना? 138, right? Page 138. Now come to the heading. You will write globes as a heading and then the whole paragraph that is given here. That is your answer 6.6. I will tell you, yes, these are the limitations. A globe is a true representation of our Earth. It gives us an exact idea about the location of different continents and oceans over the Earth's surface. It is drawn on a small scale. But there are some limitations in using globes, such as number one, please put a tick mark on number one. It is difficult to carry a globe everywhere. Then number two, due to limited space, it is difficult to give many details over a globe. Number three, we cannot show a part of the Earth on a globe. And number four, put a tick mark on the fifth one. Leave number four and put a tick mark on number five. It is very difficult to make and handle a big size globe. Yeah, so only 4 points you will write. You will not write the fifth one. Clear? Clear? That is your answer, 6.6. Now coming to the last one, 6.7, suggest any two methods of finding directions. Come to page, write page 142. And then please come to page 142. We can find out directions by facing the rising sun with the help of pole star or with the help of a compass. Now, out of these three, put a tick mark on the first one. Usually, a magnetic compass is used to find the directions. It is an instrument used to find out the main directions. Its magnetic needle always points towards the north-south direction. Only till here. Come to the second one, put a tick mark on it. We all know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. If we stand facing the sun in the morning, it means we are facing towards the east and the west is towards our back. The left hand points towards the north and the right hand points towards the south. That's it. This is your answer, 6.7. Got it? So now I put an end to this recording. You all please take out your books and copies and I will tell you the things you will do